Well, welcome to a blog garden diary walk. It's been a while. I look back, it was the end of June, so I've kind of missed July and I'm just hanging on to the end of August. But you've missed a lot, but not a lot. I've been busy doing work in the garden, so like cutting hedges and cutting back and doing things like that. The high summer is not the highest time in our garden for flowering plants or interest, but it's starting to wake up again now. And here we've got, I love the light in the garden. The sun coming through the trees and these shafts of light gives you almost a theatrical style lighting, where these alliums willichi, are rather brown and deep maroony red, and they don't look much, but when you see them from down the garden backlit, they stand out beautifully. Their stems, it's a triangular stem, so if you cut it through the middle and look down on it, it's a triangle, so three-sided stems. They catch the light so beautifully, and they attract an ever number of pollinators. There's not too many. There was a couple there just as I approached. But they really are beautiful, and they seed around nicely. You can see them seeding in the path. And they're now occupying the place and seeding up where the erythroniums were. Up to these beds, it's fairly typical that we see these beds up here under the trees, so the Codonopsis has long finished flowering. But what we have up here is the willow gentian, Gentiana asclepidium or something like that. I forget the exact pronunciation of it, but a marvellous big herbaceous gentian with these great arching stems. Really looking magnificent. So one of the jobs I've been doing is cutting the hedges and shredding. And when I shred it, and the bag's full, I bring it around, and I don't put it back onto the compost heap. I tend to put it in an area where I know I can leave it for a few weeks. And a few weeks on, was a pile of hedge shreddings. And after just a few weeks here, that now is a beautiful mulch. It's wet inside. You can see how it retains moisture. I can just about wring the moisture out of that. So the organic matter and the moisture retention. So as soon as I start to tidy away some of this growth, I'll spread these piles out. And I've got piles of that all around the garden. And up here, when you're going around poking about in the garden, I find things. And I found this. This is not going to be easy to photograph. I can shade the lens with this wee thing. Orobanche, parasitic plant. So this is probably Orobanche hederi. So it's parasitizing on the ivy that's up here, and I found several plants of that along the back here. Interesting, because we only once introduced some seed of this into the front garden, never into the back, so I don't know how these got here, but the seed must be very fine and wind blown, so I suspect there's a lot more of it here than we realise. And it just shows you how you can explore and make discoveries even in your own garden if you've got the right conditions, and create this lovely organic mulch. If I scrape in the soil, far down as I can go, it's organic matter. And we're right up under the shade here. We're under conifers, other trees, birches. So let's come back out of here where I am. And the seeding is great fun down all sorts of seeding. Some things I don't want and would rather not have. And others, here I'm just spotting here. Again, another discovery. Look, down here. That's a seedling of the willow gentian. So it's seeding around, which is really nice. Less desirable are these wee epilobiums that get everywhere. They've got little wee slender stems and pink flowers. And they just seem to fly in and get everywhere. But in a way, apart from the aesthetic, if you think, oh, it's a weed and you don't like that, then there's nothing we should be really too worried about. Because they don't inhibit other plants. And often by the time you see them, they're at this stage. That's when they're more showy, actually. And by now, we're really too late to take them out anyway. But I was spotting that because I was coming down to these fruits. The Gaultheria depressa, the wee New Zealand shrub. So this is its leaves here. These narrow leaves. The more netted leaves, that's vaccinium, another vaccinium. Sorry, that's Gaultheria pyrroloides, not a vaccinium. But interesting, I don't know if I can show it on this camera or not. But let's get what we call a berry. And it's not really a berry because it's a swollen calyx. If I open up, I don't know if this is going to work on this wee camera. But inside, there's the seed capsules inside that swollen calyx. It's another capsule. And the seed is in there, quite dry. So it's not held within the flesh. And that's it there, ready to go. Just saying that, I'm just seeing another bunch of seed here on the slab. That's from the birch. Look, birch seed. From the Himalayan birch above me. And all around the garden is birch seedlings we have to take out because we really, as you can see, we've probably got enough trees in this garden without encouraging more. So the willow gentian's doing really well up in this wall. And it's interesting, this wall, when we first created it, first planted it, it used to be full of the Asiatic gentians, the autumn gentians, those beauties. But now it's not, because they can't stand the competition. So as a bed matures, conditions change. Just seeing something interesting in here. Talking about finding things. Just found this up in here. It's a little orchid. I can't remember its name. But we didn't plant that either. That's just come in. That's a little beauty. Will this thing focus on it? That's really lovely. Fancy that. It's one of those things, if you create the habitat, plants will come. There might be plants you want or you welcome, but there might be others that you're not so sure about. But that's really lovely. And it's there with the flowering. You can see in there as well, the Embothrium. No, it's not an Embothrium. What is it? Anyway, South American plant. So it's good to really explore your garden at times. Up there, the bed of the dwarf rhododendrons that got bigger and bigger, and I've been cutting back progressively. I really think that maybe I should just be brave and hack them back right to the ground and let them start again. But I'm just, I don't know. I'll see. Not the right time to do it. We want to do it when there's going to be a good season of growth. So what's awakening in the garden? It's the autumn. Flowering the cyclamen, hydrofolium, in the different shades of pink, and these white ones. They're all appearing through the crashing foliage, and as the other plants start to die back for winter, they take advantage. And again, it's the backlight. It makes them stand out. Nearly always pollinators, hoverflies, going around them. But it gets really wild and woolly. It's probably the worst time to be sharing it with you because there's an awful lot of tidying to do. There's an awful lot of things that I don't really want, that I'd like to take out. Some more gentians, cyclamen there. The great big berries, fruit of the Aracema. So let me wander around this way. Some of the herbs that just seed around are the ones that attract most pollinators. When this is in sunshine and we sit here, it's constantly covered with bees. All sorts of different, at least 5 or more different species at a time. Coming up to the cobble bed, it's starting to come into its autumn colour. The scentless mayweed in the background there, that beautiful. I don't know why it's called a mayweed, because certainly up here its peak flowering is usually August. But it's a beautiful, I love these simple white daisy like plants. Again the cyclamen, and then crocus. Here's a bit battered now, but crocus vallicula. First of the valliculas in the garden to flower this season. And here's a little crocus here, another speciosus hybrid. One of the garden hybrids, it was Speciosus xanthellomus. It was crossed with something, and we've got this whole tribe of these in the garden. They're all great. You'll see more heaps of the shredded hedge waiting to be spread. And just more of the way the light works. Catches things that you don't see all the time. The wee Cyananthus microphyllus runs about there, and the hybrid with its bigger version lobatus there. Spread over that bed at this time of year. Just a wild yarrow, Achillea, I love it. Again, great for pollinators. I've been doing, another of my jobs has been replanting some of these baskets of erythroniums. So a lot of it's done. And I fear now those that haven't been done, too late this year, because all this we've had a lot of moisture. So that's going to have started the roots. And the colchicums. Yet more cyclamen. Come in here. This is, I always need to come in here and find this at this time of year. More cyclamen here, overshaded with other plants. I need to come in and do a wee bit of gardening in here just to give them a bit more light. And this lovely pineapple flowered plant. In a garden, you know, plants don't necessarily do their best every year. Last year this had 5 flower stems. This year it's got 1. But lots of good strong leaf growth, so next year I'll expect more flowers. Again, the cyclamen, the crocus are yet to come up here. Here a few ruscoias. More colchicums. Now, veratrum, the veratrum fimbriatum, late flowering plant. The leaves come up very early, but these incredible flowers don't appear till late. Yet more piles of the compost to be spread out. Until I'll come to an end here. Just a wee walk to give you a look at the garden to cover August, as it's just the end of August. And it's very autumnal. I've felt the autumn feeling in the garden for a few weeks now. So thanks for joining me again. And next time I'm sure we'll be looking at more cyclamen and more crocus as the autumn bulbs and more flowers appear. So I hope to see you next month, which is next week, starts tomorrow. So thanks for joining me again. Enjoy your garden. Bye.